Is it time for our intro?
It will be time for our intro. So, hello everyone in chat. Welcome. It is another Wiki Weekdays podcast as usual. And just obviously, this is the first real time that we've done this live. So, I just want to, clarify a few things for people. It's like just like a regular podcast, we're not going to be really interacting with chat too much because we don't want to break up the podcast. We want it to, when people are listening on podcast services later, we don't want it to be like, why are they just talking to chat constantly? It makes for a bit of a weird audio experience. So like we will be keeping an eye on chat and like reading the messages. We've both got chat up. But just people aware, like don't get angry if we're not like responding to messages and stuff. We're just trying to keep it in a podcast format as we would. And we have got super chats set up. So if people do want to send super chats, like it's not necessary, it is appreciated, but like we will read through those after each wiki conversation. So after Karl finishes his topic, we will go through any that we get if we do get any. And same at the end of the podcast. After my topic, we will also do that as well. So again, just don't want people to think they're ignored or anything, but we've got to keep things like moving and rolling. And it would also be appreciated. I know we don't normally do this, but I believe if people like the live stream, then it makes it more likely that people will be able to find us live as we're recording and as we're streaming. So it would be appreciated.
So very concise, Lucas, how much have you been rehearsing that in the shower this morning?
I haven't, but I did just quickly type up a couple of notes in the couple of minutes before we went live just to remind me of like, just mention these little few things. And
listen, I've never rehearsed anything I've ever recorded online. The only thing I've ever rehearsed is like the final fact theme video because I didn't want to be like looking off to the side.
Yeah, and that's the thing
is pure instinct.
Literally, I've got little one sentence notes like give us a like help to find us live. So we just try our best to be improvisational. And speaking of which, Karl, people will notice that the thumbnail for this one, I had to pre-make a thumbnail even though we don't tell each other what the topic is.
No.
So Karl has mentioned that it was going to be something Deadpool related, something close to Deadpool, so I could put Deadpool in the thumbnail. But I don't actually know what you're talking about today.
Well, it's something very closely Deadpool related because today is Valentine's Day. Thank you for spending Valentine's Day with me, Lucas. And I thought, well, the Deadpool trailer dropped over the weekend, or at least the Deadpool teaser trailer for the Wolverine Deadpool movie. That was kind of flaccid, given that we've known Wolverine's going to be in it for the past, 2 years.
Yeah, it's like that whole, the Super Bowl is when we're going to announce it's called, like, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, yeah, but you also shared a video last year being like, hey, Hugh Jackman's in this one again.
And it's a Wolverine. Also, there's that leaked set photo of just Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine costume. So it's like, we've known. So I watched the trailer and thought, well, there's not really much to talk about there. I thought about maybe doing one on the Deadpool movie, the first one, because that was released, at least in the UK, on February 14th. And they marketed it as a Valentine's Day movie.
And it was a movie that was focused around romance and love. A very violent movie, but...
And they did the fake movie poster of classic Ryan Reynolds a rom-com of him lying there like that with his wife. And he just says love conquers all, February 14th. Deadpool.
And yeah, just all of the marketing around that original Deadpool movie was so spot on.
And I thought that would make a good bit of fodder for a Wiki Weekends video. So I realised we've already talked about that movie and the making of it 3 times on Fact Fiend. So let's instead talk about a character who is close to Deadpool, at least in the movies, and that is Pietro Rasputin, aka Colossus. So it's just a good old-fashioned Wiki Weekends video about a character from Marvel.
So are we doing Fox version? Are we doing non-existent MCU version? Earth 616?
This is comic Pietro Rasputin, if you want to. Is there anything you got to say about the Rasputin? Or I guess the Colossus. They don't really call him Rasputin much in the...
I was going to say, when you just called him by his actual name, I was like, I don't actually know who that is, but presumed it was Colossus based on the name being Russian, which the character is, but...
Yeah, they normally anglicize it Peter Nikolai, because his middle name here is Nikolaevich. So it's normally Peter Nicholas or Nicholas Peter, because just Rasputin is just a funny last name. You hear that and go, really? Rasputin?
Yeah, and it's a bit of like that generic like people writing Russian character names that from like American perspective, but
Has though anyone ever topped Soda Popinski from like the Punch Outs, who started off as just something? What is he like? Vodka drinkiski or something like
oh
that?
my
That's
god.
too offensive.
Christ. Yeah, those original characters in like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, they did not hold back on the stereotyping.
Like, yeah, so that's me. But just probably not the best name, but I think the character of Colossus is kind of fun. But he's not in the MCU much. It's kind of a shame. Did you ever hear why that actor never came back, even though he looks exactly like the character in the comics?
Wait, I presume you mean like
Oh, sorry, in the Foxverse.
in the Foxverse, yeah, because do you mean like the one that was in like The Last Stand, or was it
Yeah,
number
he was
2
in-
that he was featured in more?
Is he number 2 then as a cameo in Last Stand, and then he appears in like Days of Future Past for a split second? But yeah, that guy just quit acting.
Oh, right.
And he had it in his contract that if they wanted to have Colossus, it had to be him. And they asked him, do you want to be Colossus? Because people really like Colossus. And we want to keep putting you in. Obviously, Colossus has a great relationship with Wolverine. Obviously, the fastball special. It's like, can we put in? He's like, no, I'm good. I'm not acting anymore.
Oh, do you remember the flaccid fastball special we got in that
in
the Last Stand, I think?
Where he throws him.
Yeah, and it's like that lazy, just wire work Wolverine just going really slowly.
He goes about 4 miles an hour and he goes like this. Are we gonna get a fastball special in the new Deadpool movie, right? And they're gonna do it justice.
I would hope so, but also they've already done it with Wade. I believe like Colossus does the fastball special with Wade, but like
they have to do a proper one with Wolverine.
It would be so hype if they did.
Did you ever see there was like that pitch for like the Ant-Man? Oh, sorry, for the Endgame that they never managed to get in, and they were going to do a mini fastball special where Giant Man was throwing the Hulk, who was throwing somebody else. So Giant Man was going to throw the Hulk, who was holding someone else, and they were going to do the double fastball special.
I did.
For time.
I did like some of the choreography that came up with Ant-Man with doing stuff like that in What If Season 2.
Yeah,
they had like a couple of scenes of just like throwing Ant-Man around as a weapon.
You should be like, you should put Ant-Man in a gun and just have a gun that fires Ant-Man. But Pietro Rasputin, with a quote from him here: "I am not made of steel. Rage. I am made of rage." It's like,
fucking hell.
So calm down. His current alias is Colossus. His aliases, there's unfortunately not many band names here except for one. So his nicknames are the Juggernaut. He was the Juggernaut for a little bit. He was like an avatar of Sitarak. The Phoenix, because everyone gets the Phoenix Force in Marvel. And then the Proletarian.
Well, that's not bad.
He's fighting for the working man. I'd buy their album.
I do appreciate, we always say it's either everyone gets the Phoenix Force in Marvel or everyone's encountered like Venom. And can you imagine Venom Colossus?
The thing is, though, what is something you think everyone should get that they don't? Because I would love everyone to get the Juggernaut. Because people don't know, the Juggernaut is often mistaken for a mutant in Marvel canon. He's not. He's just a dude who found this gem. And the gem is like, whoever holds this gem is the avatar of this demon from another realm. And you just become Juggernaut.
It would be so good if it was just Professor X as the Juggernaut. Just the unstoppable wheelchair, just like going.
Oh, you're going to call me Wheels again with Logan. And then we have his nicknames, which are Chrome Dome, Pete, Petey, and Rusky. Oh, I'm really sorry. I've got a really tickly throat.
It's okay, Carl, because,
It's not that you has to cough. I've got a really tickly throat.
I know, yeah. What I should just do is take a really slow sip of my coffee every time you go to cough.
To help myself. So, born to a simple farm life in Russia, Pietro Rasputin is a mutant with the ability to transform his body into steel, which grants him phenomenal strength as Colossus. He was approached by Professor Xavier with a chance to change the world for mutants as a member of the X-Men. As a gifted painter, Colossus gradually witnessed his simple life drastically change due to the adventures and complexities of his duties as an X-Man. And that's the thing as well, like, Colossus is one of those like key X-Men who never really gets any play in the live action. So it's kind of nice to put him into Deadpool. Because like he's just the guy.
The thing is,
like, every like group needs a tank.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Wolverine, like, it's Wolverine for the X-Men for a little bit, but it's also Colossus.
Yeah, and I think Colossus is like one of the earlier groups of X-Men. Like he's quite an early character in terms of X-Men lore.
Yeah, there's him and Angel that often get looked over as like these like some of the earliest X-Men.
Well, I was going to mention Angel because we've managed to get like one of the OG X-Men. Angel has had 2 iterations that were both just goddamn shat on.
I don't mind it in like, is it the third one where it's like the little kid crying in the bathroom?
I like
I
that
thought,
idea, and then Angel himself is done really poorly. He's like this
yeah,
just edgy cage fighter dude, like, oh, leave me alone, dad.
but I
Okay.
did like that opening cut, like that
Hmm.
opening like bit of the movie where it's the little kid trying to cut his wings off because if
Like
people don't know
crying
this,
and cutting his wings off and bleeding in
yeah,
his back and stuff because he's like scared to be that
to be a
angel. Yeah.
mutant, the X-Men have variously been interpreted as an allegory for race and sometimes for being gay.
Hmm.
Oh, like they were explicitly written to be an allegory for race, but like other people have interpreted them and used that interpretation as their interpretation of being gay. So like, little kid hiding in the bathroom, ashamed of what he is in front of his father. It's very obvious what the parallels are supposed to be there, and then him being ashamed. And then later in the movie, when he comes and rescues his dad, and you get that power shot, him
Yeah.
just stood and the wings fly out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's so buff!"
It's that moment where he jumps out the window and flies away. That is one of the best shots in that entire movie.
It's when he spreads his wings out and just stands there with a six pack, and he's like, wait, why do we not want this guy to have wings? That looks cool as fuck.
I want those wings. But then
Oh,
you
why?
just get like the Apocalypse version where just
He's got
Apocalypse
steel
and
wings.
the four horsemen of the Apocalypse in general in that movie were just all done so badly.
The less said about that, the better. But do you have any thoughts on Colossi?
I mean, it's quite weird because obviously it's that contrast of, well, the thing I mainly know him from, I know he was in the 90s X-Men, but I don't remember too much of them in terms of specifics, more just general vibes and Gambit and Rogue's like accents. That's about all I
Yeah.
remember.
Everyone went, good night, sugar. Everyone remembers her accent. But the thing is, though, I think Colossus is a great character because he's probably one of the strongest visuals of any X-Man.
Hmm.
Like Wolverine, obviously, is iconic, but just Colossus of just the man made of metal is so
Yeah.
strong, and he's
And
undergone almost no redesigns over the years, except when they tried to make him edgy and put spikes on him. Then immediately got rid of them.
yeah, you don't need to. You could just make him big shiny man, but it's like
Yeah,
in the Deadpool version where he's quite this like stoic leader of the X-Men, it feels a bit weird to then hear that in the comics it's like his quote is "I am made of rage."
I think that's when he had like the Juggernaut Force or something like that.
Right,
But
okay.
he is seen as being very stoic, and like he
Hmm.
doesn't like violence. He likes being a painter. Like he likes being an
Oh.
artist. He has it's that classic trope of the warrior with an artist's soul.
Hmm.
And they do have that in those X-Men movies where you see him drawing caricatures of people.
Hmm.
And you have that great moment where he's like rescuing the kids and they're shooting guns at him and he just steps out. It's completely covered in steel and it's like, what the fuck you got? Then you have that moment that could have made that film so good where he looks at Wolverine and he's like, I could help you. And he's like, help them. It's like, no, fight with Colossus for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let Colossus pick Wolverine up and just swing him around.
God. That is,
Oh,
yeah, just one thing I would like to see embraced a bit more in Deadpool and Wolverine is just if we could get some proper cool combo moves between Deadpool, Wolverine, and Colossus, that'd be awesome.
just the idea of taking advantage of the fact that Wolverine is invincible. Like the one I always bring up is in like the X-Men Origins game,
Mm.
where Wolverine just jumps out of a plane and just headbutts a Sentinel from orbit because he's got an indestructible skeleton and he knows he can't die. He knows he's gonna hurt, but
Yeah.
basically he just jumps out of a plane, goes into like full pencil, and just crashes through the skull of a Sentinel. He's like, "Where's that?" But we
Yeah, I
do have
think the
some.
closest we get, I guess, is like the, bit in one of in X-Men Last Stand where it's like he uses invincibility to kill Jean Grey because he can just walk through and get like shredded into skeleton while still making his way towards her. But
Yeah, or like when in Logan, where he's like using himself as a shield to protect Laura.
or just when he just goes into adrenaline mode in the forest and just charges at people that are shooting him down, and
Yeah,
he just doesn't care anymore. He's just full rage.
but I've always liked that he can do that because obviously he'll take the hit. Like we got the bit where he's fighting with Laura in the forest, and he jumps in front of the shotgun blast, and then she jumps over his shoulder and goes like the little stab.
Hmm.
It's like hell, God, and we have here some basic, information here about Colossus. So height 6'6", not Colossus. When he is Colossus, he's 7'5". So he puts on like a foot of height almost, and his weight is 250 pounds, normal.
Ooh.
Armored form, 500 pounds. which
He's
is a
already a
lot,
big
but doesn't.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound like that much more for someone who's 7.5 feet tall and made of metal. It's like
No.
that guy who was like the world's strongest man. Do you not pronounce his name? Who played like the Mountain, like Hathor Bjornsson, or whatever it
I
is?
can't remember, but
But he's like 7'6", and he weighs like 400 pounds at like fighting weight, and
yeah,
he's not made of steel.
it's like when you get those like chocolate covered biscuits and the layer of chocolate is so thin. That must just be the layer of metal on
Tiniest,
Colossus.
thinnest layer of metal. Well, do you know what? Let's find out, because we have here attributes, powers, and abilities. So, first of all, we have his power grid. So, anyone unfamiliar with the power grid in Marvel canon? It is a scale of 1 to 7. 1 being average human, 2 being, 1 to 2 being like, between an average human, and then 7 is nigh omnipotent or godlike in that particular regard. And everything looks in order. It's like an intelligence of 2. He's a pretty smart guy. He's educated at like Xavier's school. He's creative, but not like, got PhD or anything. His strength is a 6, which puts him up there with like figures like, base level Hulk.
Yeah, because I think
stuff.
even base level Hulk was like 5 and then 7 when enraged or something like along those lines.
Yeah, and then his speed is a 2. His durability is a 6. So he's almost like, as durable as it's possible to be without it being literally off the charts. And his key power, metal mimicry. Colossus is a mutant with the power to convert the tissues of the entire body into an organic metal, a substance that appears to be roughly analogous to osmium and to carbon steel. So over the years, it's gone from steel to osmium to like carbon fiber almost, as we discover new metals.
But it's not comparable in any way to the likes of the Marvel metals of adamantium and vibranium.
Yeah, which you think they would have done by now, wouldn't you?
That would be terrifying. Imagine just like, with the Black Panther suit in the MCU where it's just like it absorbs every shot and like redirects it. You can just have Colossus just taking every hit being made of vibranium.
It seems like one of those things where they would have done that at some point, of like
It's
giving him an
probably
upgrade.
happened in a comic book, yeah.
Most likely, he doesn't mention it here, but it says here that the transformation into this armor-like state is virtually instantaneous, and he can remain in this form for an undetermined amount of time. So he can do it almost instantaneously, and there seems to be no limit to how long he can stay metal. And there are some comics where he just wanders around being metal all the time, because why would you not? I'm bulletproof when I'm metal, I'm not when I'm human.
Yeah, that's one thing that I remember as a kid that threw me off a little bit, was that he was just walking around as a human and he wasn't constantly metal.
Because they couldn't afford it.
Well,
they couldn't afford the CGI budget.
Yeah, I guess so. It must just be one of those things. But I mean, fast forward to Deadpool, where he is just metal all of the time.
All the time. Why would you not be? Yeah, he's plus, well, he's a symbol of the X-Men. Like, it's good branding.
I was thinking as well then when you were talking about the potential upgrades. I wonder if he's ever been made an Iron Man.
But that seems kind of pointless.
It does, but it would be so. How terrifying would it be though if you managed to like take down an Iron Man armor and an Iron Man steps out of the Iron Man armor? Just no.
It's like the Hulkbuster, isn't it? When you destroy the Hulkbuster and then just another Iron Man gets out. It says here he is able to transform into this Iron, in this state instantaneously. The longest he has remained in his armored form, at least by choice, has been 5 days. If he is rendered unconscious, however, he will spontaneously revert back to his normal form.
I was going to say, you'd think when he sleeps that he'd go back to just regular human.
Oh, just for the sake of his bed.
Yeah.
While in the armored state, Colossus possesses the same degree of mobility that he does in his normal form, though his endurance and speed are enhanced. So that must be why he's got to do so much fucking exercise. Because you went buff with those videos of like, here's a really buff dude, can he like get this sticker off the small of his back? And he's just, and they just can't reach. Go get that flexibility, son.
God, I can't imagine how unflexible it would feel to be a man made out of metal.
Yeah, but are you ready for the Marvel bullshit?
Oh god, yeah.
The conversion from flesh to bone and organic steel is accomplished via, and I quote, a psionic whole brain interface with an ionic form of osmium located in another dimension.
Oh, so he's got like just somewhere in another dimension there's just Colossus metal floating around.
So that, we can put the the Colossus metal dimension alongside the eye punch dimension of Cyclops, the Banff dimension that Nightcrawler disappears into, the dimension where all the powers of like Cyttorak come from, the dimension where Pym particles come from.
And then
How many like Marvel characters have the explanation of their powers work because something comes from another dimension?
yeah, just don't worry about it. Can we
Well, how
also
many of
just
these?
give the honourable mention and add like slide it slyly into the list of the Kirby stomach dimension?
Yeah, why not?
Just like that sounds like some Marvel bullshit of just
Was like, but do you remember like when we did like the video on Ant-Man, and it's like we don't know where his mask goes; it just goes into another dimension.
yeah, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, but is that the same dimension that Colossus muscles are there?
Is it all one big dimension with random different areas that have like power modes on them?
Says like in the willing the act of transformation, Colossus actually exchanges osmium atoms for his carbon atoms. The psionic interface with the other dimension recreates all of Colossus's body in functionality in similar organic ionic osmium material. So basically, it recreates his body with new atoms that are like made of this new metal. Which says thing, what happens to his old stuff? Is there just like just a bunch of just like flesh just in the other dimension?
Yeah,
waiting?
it just swaps it out, just waiting. But like that still makes even less sense as why his weight is only doubled if all of his flesh and bone become metal.
But you're ready though, Lucas. The process by which Colossus gains additional mass from an unknown, perhaps extra-dimensional force, remains unknown. Of course it does, because no writer has had no writer wants to explain it.
Yeah, the classic. The
Well, I
classic.
do find this interesting. He can either become he cannot become partially or selectively armored. He is either entirely armored or not. So he can't just convert one part of his body like Senator Armstrong.
Right,
He
okay.
has to have his entire body armored and made of metal, or none of it.
I mean, that's, I guess, like, I think that's a bit more interesting than he can just change any of his body at will.
Because that's he does have inherent weaknesses because he weighs a lot.
Yeah, and it's
Plus, you have to walk through doors as well.
It's one of those weird things of like, well, I guess only having on or off as your power setting kind of creates some limitations in that sense. Whereas if just at any point you could just make his hand metal when he goes to punch someone, that would be way stronger.
We have here, so his powers include superhuman strength. So after transforming to his armored state, Colossus possesses vast superhuman strength. As a teenager, he was sufficiently strong enough to be listed as a class 70, which means he can lift about 70 tons. However, as an adult, he has increased his strength. He's now listed at exactly a class 100, so the ability to lift about 100 tons. Yeah. He has proved able to momentarily surprise and hold back the Juggernauts with a few blows. Which just makes, like, the people he's fighting in the Deadpool movies just seem like, really? You've got him fighting Redacted?
Yeah, I can't even remember his name. In Deadpool 1, he's just like, dude.
No, I'm just saying, like, Redacted, because it's played by that actress who's, like, suing Marvel to get put back into... We've seen she's suing Marvel to get back into Star Wars.
I mean, presumably you meant Disney there, but yes.
Disney, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, like...
She's suing Disney and Marvel to get put back into those movies, and everyone's like, nah.
It's not fair. All I did was, like, be a horrible person, and then they didn't want me in content anymore.
Lucas, who among us hasn't randomly tweeted out just anti-Semitic slurs?
Yeah.
On main.
It's just an accident,
While representing a billion-dollar brand. Anyway, Colossus has also temporarily restrained the Savage Hulk with a sequence of blows combining strength and skill, and was able to trade blows with the Thing.
Again, like, we don't really see much of the Thing anymore because Disney have been trying to just shut that down so Fox could get bought out. But, I mean, people underestimate the Thing nowadays. He's one of the strongest entities in all of Marvel.
Yeah, I remember as well when we did that great video about how no one can beat him. And it's one of those classic internet things of no fucker wanted to watch the video. Well, actually, the Hulk can beat him. It's like, no, the video is about how he has one of the strongest forces of will in all of Marvel.
It would be such a boring video to be like, hey, did you know the Thing's pretty strong, but the Hulk can beat him in a fight?
Well, that's every other comment is, well, the Hulk, Savage Hulk says hello. Galactus says, it's like, that's the point of the video is that he has such, because I thought it was so much more interesting that he's known for being strong. Well, the thing that makes him, like, superhuman is his force of will, that he will never give up.
He'll never give up trying to get his ex-wife back.
Never. And they have, like, this moment in one comic where a guy basically says, like, I can break his body, but I can't break his spirit. He wins. But then everyone in the comments who didn't watch the video was like, no, actually, the Hulk's stronger. It's like, cool. I'd love to live in your world.
I'd love to just destroy this conversation second one.
It's also as well, like, just both, the title is still correct that no one can beat him, because that's literally what a character says. Of like, you can beat him, but you can't, quote unquote, beat him. You might win the fight, but the only way to win the fight is to kill him. And for a lot of people, that's not victory. Not in Marvel, especially when you can come back.
Yeah, how long do you remain dead?
What's like one of my favorite She-Hulk comics is where she's like someone suing. I think they die in an industrial accident and come back as like pure energy or radiation or something. And that's how you know it's a ghost who's committed a crime, and they're trying to arrest the ghost for committing a crime. And like they take the ghost to court, and the guy's like, "Well, I'm dead. You can't like arrest me because I'm dead. Like dead people don't have to stand trial." And they bring the Thing in, and they ask the Thing of like, "How many times have you died?" Is I lost count. I was dead last week. He's also keep in mind as well half the jury died as well. Because like remember the snap and like, and like how many members of a jury also died and like half the jury raised their hand and then he just says like how many you pay taxes. So I still pay taxes. There you go. The law still applies to dead people. Arrest this ghost. Arrest this man.
Oh god, that's a great moment. This ghost being like, you can't hold me in contempt of court. It's like we can.
Yep.
Fuck you.
That's thinking that's what the She-Hulk show should have been. And they did have it to a degree. They have like that Mr. Immortal who just keeps committing insurance fraud. It's like, he broke up with me, but then he just jumped out of a window. Which you admit is a pretty, like, speaking of like Valentine's Day, what a good way to end it. Like, so, what?
I do not have the ability to break up with this person, but I do have the ability to just jump out of a window.
Just throw myself out of a window.
Oh god.
And we have his superhuman stamina. While in his armored form, Colossus he produces less fatigue toxins in his muscles than those of a normal human. At his peak, he can physically exert himself at peak capacity for several days before the buildup of fatigue toxins will begin to impair him. He also does not need to breathe while transformed, so it is believed that he could survive underwater, though not in a vacuum. So while he does not need to breathe or require sustenance in his metal form, he could not survive in a vacuum, presumably due to the temperature.
I mean, maybe
like the coldness of space with the metal in his skin would not be all that comfortable for him, but he could conceivably survive underwater because he doesn't need to breathe.
So it's not the lack of air in a vacuum that would be the problem. It's like if you're in space, it'd be the minus. Like
he says, presumably, like he would not survive for long, but it doesn't expand upon why. So I'm just going to guess it with the temperature.
Yeah.
Guessing a man made of metal doesn't like it being cold. So superhuman durability. In his armored form, Colossus has a high degree of imperviousness to injury. He can withstand ballistic penetration, including a howitzer shell at point-blank range. He can survive temperature extremes from 70 degrees above absolute zero, which is nowhere near as cold as it is in space. Because in space,
absolute zero.
It's a hair above, yeah.
Yeah.
So to approximately 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's roughly the temperature, I think, on the surface of the sun. It gets hotter in the sun the deeper you go in. I think it's close to that. And you can survive a collision with a loaded 1-ton flatbed truck at 100 miles an hour. I would love to see that. Just like walking directly into the truck. You can also survive falls from great heights while in his armored form. He also cannot rust.
That would suck.
That would suck so much.
Just imagine just getting thrown into a river as Colossus and then you just rust away.
Salty river. Just go in and flick salt water on him. It says as well, furthermore, his eyes also become steel-like, allowing his eyeballs to deflect bullets. Just like Superman. It's the best one. And he has peak speed as well. So he can't run super fast, but he can run as fast as a human is capable of running. And because he doesn't get tired, he can run that speed for 5 days.
Yeah,
so he could run at 32 to 36 miles per hour for 5 days straight directly into a truck.
No wonder he became the Juggernaut, though.
That's the thing. I think as well in that comic, the Juggernaut, like the Sitarak, like is like, oh, you're a better avatar for me than like that dude, King Marco, because you're already close to being a Juggernaut. I'm just making you better. Like you've already got the body. I'm just putting some more like soup in that engine.
Yeah, exactly. If they were able to specifically pick out a person, Colossus sounds like the ideal.
I think though the issue is that he doesn't want to fight because he's like naturally just adverse to fighting. And just obviously the avatar of Sitarak has to cause a lot of destruction. Same as like he was an avatar for like war or something for a little bit and he hated being that. But his ability, he's got former powers here, Lucas. He was the Juggernaut for a little bit. And Juggernaut Colossus looks so shit.
Does it?
Because they put the helmet on, but it looks like too small.
Oh,
So he
right.
just like he's got a penis head. Then he had the Phoenix Force. And you know what? Phoenix Force, like, Colossus looks alright.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's just like gives him the Phoenix. I'll send you the thing. Actually, I can't because you won't be able to look it on the Discord, will you? Look it up yourself, folks.
Yeah, I can't, because that's the downside. It's like I just can't do any of this. Maybe I can look it up and put it on screen for people.
It's like Phoenix Force Juggernaut actually looks alright. It's a pretty clean redesign.
Colossus.
Colossus, yes.
Yes.
It more changes his color scheme than it does his appearance.
So I guess this is like one benefit for people watching the video version and not the audio people, is that I'll be able to at least grab images and like put them in.
But if you're interested, Google it on your phone.
It's gonna take me a second.
And while you're doing that, I'll say his abilities include expert combatant, of course, because he's fighting with the X-Men, and he is also an expert farmer.
Okay.
Multilingual. He speaks Russian, English, and also Japanese, which he was telepathically taught by Professor X.
Yeah, I'll cover myself with just Phoenix Force for
Lucas. Professor X telepathically taught all of the X-Men Japanese to attend Wolverine's wedding. he telepathically turned everyone into a weeb so they could attend Wolverine's wedding.
But
the thing is, though, why the fuck is Professor X a lecturer when he can just sit at the front of the thing and just go, you know it all. You got a PhD, go.
So he could take an entire room of people and just like do the Matrix of just, I've plugged Japanese into your brain.
Why do they even bother learning? Like, the school should be, you walk into Professor X's office, he's like, he goes, he shakes your hand and he says, here's your diploma, and that'd be it.
It's just 5 years worth of courses beamed into your mind.
Ridiculous. And his weaknesses include vibranium and adamantium, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 metals strong in his skin, and also concentration. He needs to concentrate to transform into steel. So when he's fatigued, he's unable to.
That kind of sucks, because the one time you'd probably want to, be able to turn into metal the most is when you're under duress or stress.
Yeah. And it's so notes, during his time as the avatar of Cyttorak, so his time as the Juggernaut, he stayed in his steel form. He revealed that the reason for this is that in his steel form, he is a hero, and in flesh, he is a man. He believes as a hero, perhaps he could fight the urge for destruction, while as a man, he would not stand a chance. So he would presumably still had his Juggernaut powers as human, like Pietro Rasputin, but he thought, as the steel form, I'm a hero. It's like, this is how I identify being a hero.
He sees it as a super suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when Iron Man steps into his Iron Man army, he stops being Tony Stark. Same with like Colossus turning on his hero mode.
Curiously, Colossus is the only avatar of Cyttorak to have displayed closer to the demonic form of Cyttorak themselves, as opposed to like the Juggernaut, who just gets big and buff. He's revealed that this is because Colossus is one of Cyttorak's favourite avatars in the thousands of years he has been controlling people. Because obviously, giant metal man. Like, he just like, I don't want to play with you anymore. So he just throws Kane Marco into the trash. And then, his trivia. Pietro is a fan of Neil Diamond. Surely that'd be Emma Frost.
Like, no, but Emma Frost is British. We don't really...
Yeah, but she's got the diamond form.
I know, but at the same time, it's like...
Colossus should be a fan of heavy metal.
Neil Diamond is known over here, but he's not super popular in Britain.
Yeah, but he should be a fan of heavy metal.
He should.
Acknowledge the joke.
Should.
He also cannot cry while he's made of metal.
Oh, no!
The thing is, he should cry, but he should be like Mercury.
No, I was going to say that his tears just appear in the other dimension with his flesh. Like, just forming a little puddle on top.
Well, that is Pietro Rasputin. It's a cool character. I hope we see more of him, because he is in the Deadpool trailer. So I'm curious. I'm hoping he will turn up at some point.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, that kind of sucks, because he's a cool character.
Yeah, he's a very cool character, and it's just, as you say, presumably got left out a lot of the early stuff and not focused on as much because it's just expensive to make a man metal 100% of the time.
It's just the actor just didn't want to do. The actor
a bit of both, yeah. Because he wanted to be an X2.
That's it. He really, really looked like him as well. That's the thing. Like, he super looked like the dude. I think they even put like a little bit of like blue dye in the actor's like hair, so it looked close to the comics. Because he has like you don't draw people having black hair in comic books, or you
Mhm.
don't draw things as being black in comics. You draw like the hint of blue. That's
Yeah.
why people think like Batman has blue accents on his outfit.
Yeah, and like some do have elements of blue in his outfit, but a lot of the time it's just black, but you shade it with blue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they even like I think they gave the actor like a blue rinse on his hair to be close to that. And it's like hell yeah,
Been a long
Pietro
time since.
Rasputin.
I
Just watch his like stuff.
I like Colossus. Like I enjoyed Colossus from the cartoon back in the 90s, and I presumed like I forgot we're getting a 90s X-Men continuation or reboot or something.
All I want to see is that stupid bubble car.
But all I want is the stupid voices back, those awful accents.
I think Steve Bloom is coming back.
Oh, okay, cool.
Steve Bloom Wolverine. Right, bub. I can't do the voice. No one can. Only him. But I do want like super fucking racist Gambit. But it's like it's the most like stereotypical like Cajun
I was gonna say
accent.
it's maybe not like racist, but it is definitely
The thing
stereotypical.
is, it's uncomfortable to listen to.
Yeah, it is. There's something about it where you're like,
It's like I do like. The thing is that what's worse, Gambit's like Cajun accent in the cartoon, or Halle Berry's attempt at an African accent.
Oh god.
The accent she was so bad at doing, they dropped it in every subsequent X-Men movie.
I mean, same with I was about to say same with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but it was just Scarlet Witch because Quicksilver didn't get a chance to do it again.
Yeah.
The Scarlet Witch is like, are you from Sokovia or not, Scarlet Witch? Because you can't seem to make up your mind.
What is it about like the Marvel movies and them just not committing to like characters from other countries having accents? Like, remember where like just for a little bit, Black Widow had one?
Yeah,
just a little bit.
And just it's very, very strange. They're just a lot of these actors just can't do the accents that we've hired them for. I guess they just don't have an accent.
The Halle Berry one will always be the funniest. Because she tried so hard, and everyone's like, "This is so bad." So she could not do the accent at all, and everyone made fun of her for it. So they just stopped it.
Yeah, just came back in X2, and it's like, oh yeah, Professor X beamed a new accent into my head. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was Professor X. I've been beaming even worse accents as people as a prank. Do when he says like Wolverine of like, I would have you thinking you're a 5-year-old girl if you mess with me. It's like I'd even have Jean braid your hair. He could do that.
I would sit there and just for Halle Berry every time she goes to sleep, it's just Professor X saying to her head, "Do you know what happens to a toad when it gets hit by lightning?"
Use your psychic powers to beam it onto the ceiling in HD. She'd hate it. Can't stop. Yeah, that's Pietro Rasputin and a discussion about Deadpool, I suppose. So, what is your article on Pharrell, or do you want to take a quick break?
We'll take a quick break, but I will say that I forgot during our intro because we haven't done this before.
Okay.
If people go over to our Discord, where you can vote for which wiki won this week, maybe Karl, you can get the results up because I'm currently recording my Discord feed.
Yeah, what I can do now is I can bring up like the Discord.
Of course, but yes, we do have an official vote now for which wiki won this week. So obviously, at the end of the podcast.
There we go, the invite. So I've got the invite here. I can post it in the chat for everyone.
Hell yeah! So Karl's doing the invite some moderation,
there,
and
I'll go to the actual Discord itself and just put in like, do you know how to do the poll?
I'll do that at the end.
Okay, you'll do that at the end. So I'll post the Discord link.
We won't post the poll until the podcast is up and everything, so that you can listen to both sides of the conversation.
But you are able to,
But right now, Colossus would just be the automatic winner. So Karl, let us know which wiki won last week.
Default. Oh yeah, that's what I was checking, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Right, one sec. So which wiki won last week? Podcast discussion. Okay, so which wiki won last week? So the two that we put forward were Hideo Kojima and Dr. Jackson Han from The Good Doctor. And it appears that Dr. Jackson Han won by a margin of 3-1.
Oh, okay. So you really won this time.
Yep. Well, that's the thing, though. How can you not vote for Daniel Day Kim? How can you not vote for those cheekbones?
Because I would never want to vote for The Good Doctor, but Daniel Day Kim, I'll send a vote that way. So yeah, Karl wins. Karl's wiki won last week.
Yes, if you would like
And
to
that
influence
is
which
just
wiki wins next week.
yeah. Of course, we haven't listened to my side of the conversation just yet, but take a quick break before we do. But yeah, join the Discord if you would like to. Go ahead and just get a vote in each week, and we'll just post that poll every week. And weekend after, or the weekday after, we will let everyone know who won. It's a new thing we've introduced. We're a bit more rehearsed at certain parts, but anyway, we'll just be a couple of minutes as I run the toilet. If you want to take over for like our housekeeping section, I'm just going to give us a quick clap so I know where to cut.
Go for it. People are getting a first-hand glimpse into how to make content here. I've just so anyone's ever wondered like why we're clapping? You may have you remember when you watch like old films or TV shows like or behind the scenes stuff, you'll see a clapper. People always ask like, what's that thing? It says, well, it's the exact same thing. Sync up audio. Also, it's just like a nice clear thing on the camera that you can just go to in the edit and go, okay, there it is. It has the scene written on it. Perfect. I need this scene for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
It serves the exact same purpose and just a modern day equivalent of that, even though they still use that clapper, I think, in some broadcasts and stuff and recordings. Is just you just go, because you just sync up the audio of the clap with the visual on your screen.
I should get an actual clapper in.
Yeah, get one. Just write on it like Wiki Weekends episode 2 or whatever. But yeah, so we've returned from our break, Lucas. Cade is getting mad hype downstairs. He must have told him about the like Carl talks about Colossus and Cade's like, yes, Colossus. And then you fastball specialed him out your window.
Oh my god,
you would get some right spiral on a dash under as well, wouldn't
you? Especially a miniature.
Imagine a dash on where you get some good spirals. You're like, it'd go great. Well, we've got to do our housekeeping now. So if you are enjoying this podcast, of course, you can leave a like, comment below if you're watching on YouTube, all that good stuff. You can follow below on Discord to discuss which wiki won this week. Of course, after you've listened to which wiki Lucas brought for us, you can follow myself and Lucas on our respective Twitch channels. Mine is twitch.tv/CarlsWood. Lucas's is twitch.tv/Legend of Kanto. Lucas likes to stream a selection of games, including Pokemon, Legend of Zelda, and Mass Effect. Mass Effect being on Monday, Zelda being on Tuesday, and Pokemon being on Thursdays, while I stream Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance on a Friday. Now that was rehearsed. That's not even rehearsed. That's just we do that so much that it's just I know it. I'm like, okay, mental checklist done.
And I do want to mention as well.
Oh no.
No, just someone asked earlier in chat. Like, this will be staying live as like either a live archive or as like an edited YouTube like video. I don't know exactly how it gets put out, but this will be like a video version that stays on the channel as well.
So all those flubs and middle bits and stuff will just remain in the original video version.
I think I should be able to use YouTube Editor to scrub them out.
If there's anything like if there's any like dead time, I suppose. But
we'll figure it out.
You'd hope people watching the video version would just be like, hey, when like you left for your coffee break, the notes. Why is there no talking going on? They look at the screen, see me like that. But what wiki did you bring for us today, Mothra?
Well, I brought, I guess, relevant wiki for today in terms of not to do with Valentine's Day, but to do with a release that I believe is happening today, which is I'm going to be talking about Lara Croft, because I believe the original trilogy has just been released as a remaster.
So I am a huge fan of the Lara Croft franchise because it's so iconic a part of British culture. And I think people forget how iconic a character Lara Croft was. Like, she was on the cover of Playboy. She's the first digital character to be on the front cover of Playboy.
Yeah.
And there's like a road in England named like Lara Croft Way.
It's one of those wild things of 90s and early noughties, like Lara Croft and Tomb Raider just completely took off. And it was also one of those movies where, like, I mean, obviously she was famous. No. I'm talking about the character in general.
Okay, so if you're talking about the movie's also great.
But that movie also did really well and like was one of the more famous Angelina Jolie movies at the time.
She's still associated with that character, yes. And one thing I like about that movie is people say, like, what's the best video game adaptation? I think it might be that one. Because I remember I rewatched it and I forgot that that Angelina Jolie actually did a backflip while shooting two pistols.
Really?
Yeah, when she's fighting like the robot at the start to practice, she actually does a backflip with two pistols, like the game. And they only put that in because they said it's a thing you can do in the game, so she should do it in the film.
If only more video game adaptations were like that. And I think nowadays it's hard to really say anything, I guess, but The Last of Us is the best one.
It's
Where
just
it's
by
like, yeah,
default, yeah.
because, Last of Us is basically a very long cinematic video game that's basically trying to ape movies anyway. So I guess that makes for an easier translation. But it's hard to not just be like, I guess that's the one now.
I will say though, I got annoyed that I never saw a scene of Pedro Pascal putting a Molotov cocktail in his back pocket.
Just while it's lit on fire, just no, save that for later.
Because I remember we had that conversation, like, what is a better animation? Joel putting a lit Molotov cocktail in his back pocket, or Venom Snake putting a hamster in his pocket? Like, which one's better for you?
I appreciate when Snake just gets like crawls over live animals that are in giant cages, and where does that go?
Well, that's the thing
Where
as
is
well.
that being
Okay, so
put, Snake?
we've got like a Metal Gear Solid movie coming out.
Do
That's still been made, right?
It's been being made for like 10 years or something.
But okay, what's a dumb thing from Metal Gear Solid you'd want them to put in as a reference?
I
'Cause obviously
want
they're gonna.
whatever actor it is to like eat a snake, quote unquote. Like, I don't want it to be an actual live snake, to clarify, but I want Snake the character to eat a snake.
I think what I'd want is I want midway through a fight, I want him to go down onto his knees, put his hand like that, and have a full-on conversation.
I mean,
And
also
never explain how it happens.
I think maybe the answer is to put a rocket launcher in and out of his back pocket instantly to reload it. Like,
the thing is, I believe that Snake could just do that. Do you know when you start like? Do you when you watch like a speed run of like a game? It's like you just think that's not unrealistic. Just Mario could do that. I think when you see like Solid Snake, or it's Naked Snake in number 3.
yes, yeah.
Just insta reloading a rocket launcher over and over again. I just think he's just that good.
He's just Naked Snake.
He's just that. That's why he's the greatest soldier who ever lived.
Just 3-frame reload on a rocket launcher.
Same thing about like Lara Croft when she does like a full backflip while firing 2 pistols at once. Like Angelina Jolie did that in real life. So I think, yeah, it's real. It's not realistic to the world we live in, but Lara Croft can do it.
Mm-hmm. And bear in mind, in the original trilogy at very least, almost immediately it's like, oh yeah, okay, we've got this character that's clearly inspired to be like a female version of Indiana Jones as like a PlayStation mascot. And what are we doing? We're raiding tombs. Oh, cool, shooting T-Rexes in the face with dual pistols.
The thing is, though, Indiana Jones like fucking goes back in time in that latest movie.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know when people thought like Aliens was like the limit? He's going back in time in this new one.
Doesn't Lara Croft go back in time in that first movie?
Lara Croft is fighting fucking mummies and shit. Like, I remember we did a fact theme video on it where it's like Lara Croft goes into Area 51 and you can just stunt on an alien corpse and just fight Yetis and all that bullshit. It's great.
But anyway, going to the wiki itself, this is the just disambiguation for Lara Croft as a character on the Tomb Raider fandom page. And then, debuting in 1996 under original developer Core Design, Lara Croft has attained massive popularity and is considered by many to be among the most iconic, influential, and important video game characters of all time.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, she's just like video gaming's equivalent of Indiana Jones.
And it says that Lara was created by Toby Gard, and I didn't realize that there was a specific person credited for Lara Croft's initial design or creation.
He's also credited with 2 of Lara's most iconic features.
Is that where just one day they decided it'd be funny to make her breasts really big?
Yeah, there's an industry legend that while Toby Gard was finalizing the design, one of the sliders for the polygons that made up her breasts accidentally slipped it all the way to the right. And someone walked past and went, "That looks great, keep it in." Which is why Lara has just such ginormous triangular breasts.
Yeah, just
something they do reference in the live action Angelina Jolie movie, because she has to wear a padded bra the entire time.
Yeah.
And they explain to her that the character's bust is very iconic. And she wore that padded bra and did those back. But the thing is, though, what's more important to Lara Croft's characterization? Huge, big slamming badonkadonks or backflip shooting T-Rexes?
A backflip shooting T-Rexes in my eyes, yeah.
I think that's why the Alicia Vikander one
unfortunately, especially at the time, as you say, she was like on Playboy and shit. And it's
it was
arguably that her sexuality as a character, even though she's not a sexualized character in the games, but the fact that people would sexualize her made her very iconic as well.
I think it's more as well just because it was just a level of visual fidelity on a character we'd not seen before.
I'm sure we would have like seen something similar, but yeah,
Something similar, but it's the first time where it was like became like widely, like I said, widely known.
and yeah, we've got no real band names, but Karl, one thing I will ask of you right now.
Yes.
Can you guess when Lara Croft's birthday is?
It's going to be some famous date. So it's either going to be New Year's Day or it's going to be like the Queen's birthday or something. Is it New Year's Day?
Karl, the birthday of Lara Croft is February 14th.
Oh, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. I should have got that.
So that's presumably why they've released this game on Valentine's
Lara's
Day.
birthday. Also, they treat it like a real character. Like I said, in the 90s, when Lara Fever was at its peak, there were actresses hired to play her. And again, we did a fact theme video on this where they basically got sent to boot camp to train with the SAS. So, Joe, you'd have like the era of like booth babes.
But they were just like special ops booth babes.
Yeah, they were like basically they were the official Laras for the company, and they had to be able to do everything that Lara could do in the game convincingly for the press. So they would send them, and they had to like be able to like realistically handle weaponry and be able to do like gymnastics and acrobatics on a level that would make them appear to be as fit and capable as Lara Croft was. And there's just one of the things like, I was a model. I thought like it's gonna be a pretty easy job. Put on a pair of tiny booty shorts and carry around some pistols, and they sent me to train with the SAS. In which you had to train in that outfit.
God, yeah.
It's just her in that outfit doing like backflips and stuff.
And it says here among her professions are archaeologist, tomb raider, titular tomb raider, and various others.
Steals everything, yeah.
And then her family. This is where we all fall out with Lara a little bit. Her family, father Lord Croft, mother Lady Croft, and her title is Lady Countess of Abingdon.
The thing that I like though is in the reboot series, people have framed it as if you go into like the selfie mode, it makes it like Lara's a rich kid on a holiday who's about to get cancelled. About to get cancelled when she gets home because she does that nervous, awkward smile, but she does it for like mummies and shit.
He's just a rich kid going around and destroying, like, old tombs and trying to bring back fucking trinkets for a British holiday.
Well, that's the thing, though, because unlike, like, Indiana Jones, like, it belongs in a museum, in later Lara Croft games, you see shit from previous games just in a bathroom.
In her mansion,
She has, like, the Ark of the Covenant in a bathroom. It's like, that's the British way. Stealing people's cultural treasures and using to prop open a fucking door.
Just truly an icon of Britain going around the world and stealing from tombs. Oh dear, oh dear. So yes, Lara Croft is an English archaeologist, treasure hunter, and tomb raider born to an aristocratic family. Lara is generally disinterested in upper class society, finding it stifling and boring. He takes far more interest in delving into the secrets of the past and finding what is believed to not even exist.
What we need though is like Joe, what the classic rich person thing of like a snipe hunt where they go out with like shotguns and shoot ducks. She should just rock up on the back of like the ATV with a dual pistol, just ramp over like.
She's just like, oh hey, look what I brought back from my last adventure. It's just a T-Rex corpse. Like, yeah.
Just have that on a wall. You walk in, just like, oh yes, I hunted this like bull elephant. It's like that's all you've got. Check out my shit.
Just I found what would believe to be like fucking extinct creatures. What did you do? I just immediately shotgunned in the face and taxidermied them.
You could not believe how many backflips it took to kill this yeti.
And yeah, I guess that's one kind of nice part about Lara's characterization is that yes, she is born into all this wealth and stuff, but she doesn't really care for it at very least. It's like she just wants to go out and murder and steal instead.
Yeah, I think they do establish in a lot of the games she gives most of it away. But it's just really funny when like her first instinct is just shoot everything.
And speaking of which, just in that reboot, we've just got to mention that moment where the first time that she's like forced to kill someone and has that just emotional breakdown. And then just 1 second later, you're doing like backflips and shotgunning 5 men in the face at the same time.
Well, it's the classic, isn't it? Like cognitive dissonance of the game. Like in the cutscene, it's the first time she's killed a person. Then gameplay, it's like, okay, now you craft like strap some deer penises to your shotgun for headshot damage.
Yeah, it's the same with Far Cry 3 that came out relatively similar time of
Around then, yeah.
the main protagonist, I believe he might be called Jason. Forgettable Man number 3.
His real name is Dude Bro.
Another rich kid that likes to
Yeah.
accidentally murder someone and then become a mass murderer. But yeah, just you accidentally like trip and kill someone and start crying in the cutscene. And then, no joke, 5 minutes later, I had a flamethrower at a Komodo dragon's face. Like, yeah!
The thing is, though, have you ever like seen that great breakdown? Because obviously the game never established this, but someone's done a really good breakdown of the game. Like, he's actually just a psychopath,
Right.
but throughout the game you find out like he's like an adrenaline junkie. Like, you know, they go on this holiday. He's on the island because he was an adrenaline junkie, like, and he loves like paragliding and jumping out of airplanes and stuff. And they say killing someone is the ultimate adrenaline rush. And throughout the game, you'll see him talk about how he doesn't want to leave the island. And like when he sees his friends, they say they don't recognize him. And like his
Right.
girlfriend says that like I've never seen you like this except for when like, you know, we were in danger in like fights and stuff. And so someone's like that has been recontextualized as he's actually just a psychopath and he wants to be on the island because he loves killing people.
It's like that
'Cause it's the
unlocked
ultimate
something in
rush.
his brain of like he
Yeah.
went from crying about it to going like, oh no, that was like surviving that and killing someone. That was like the
It's the
ultimate
ultimate, yeah.
adrenaline panic. Yeah.
But obviously the game doesn't make it like that. It's like, but I do like that interpretation of it. Of that, just he's a psychopath, and the ultimate rush is killing people.
It reminds me of just there's an Always Sunny episode where Dee gets it in her head like that the ultimate rush is like getting into almost death-defying situations and like cheating death.
Yeah.
And then near the end of the episode, just she or no, I think she intentionally drinks poison and they revive her and she was like, oh god, no, that was horrible. No, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, no, I've made a mistake.
This is a terrible, terrible idea. Please get me out. So tell me more about Lara, though.
But Lara's expeditions have led her to search for some of the most powerful and dangerous artifacts in the world, as well as uncovering some of the most mysterious places in Earth's history.
Places that don't exist, right? She finds
basically, yeah.
She finds like Atlantis and stuff in Area 51.
It's the classic Uncharted thing as well of like finding the City of Gold and things like this. And
Uncharted should have gone to space.
I'm surprised that Lara Croft hasn't been in space.
It annoys me so much that the reboot. I know there were some mystical elements to it when you get into it, but the fact they tried to make it super grounded and said, no, give Lara Croft an exosuit.
That's true in Tomb Raider, the reboot, but I believe, I haven't played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I believe Lara becomes a god.
I know that's in. They've got the mystical elements, but the gameplay was really grounded. I mean,
yeah, the gameplay was, yeah.
Like Lara doing like backflips, shooting T-Rexes. Most of it is just shooting nameless thugs with like knives and stuff. I wanted to get like a jetpack. I wanted an exosuit.
Yeah, I mean, I would appreciate that if they went just fully off the rails, but that was what, about 2014, I think it was, when they rebooted that franchise, and that's when the games had to be really serious, Carl.
They did, and it sucked.
Yeah.
I would have loved it if, like, joining like the hunting the animals as well. You should have seen like unicorns and stuff. Or you should have found like a minotaur. It's like Lara, find the minotaur. It's like, what's a minotaur?
Just imagine, like, Tomb Raider reboot version having a conversation with, like, you know, Lara Croft from like Tomb Raider PS1, like those games, like maybe the third one where it goes completely off the rails and like, oh yeah, so what happened to? Oh well, you know, we went traveling and I climbed a cliff and accidentally murdered someone. And Lara's like, oh, so you haven't been like doing backflips and just shotgun saber-tooth tigers and zombies and shit? Like, no, none of that.
Have you not tried doing a side backflip, a front backflip, and then taking 3 steps forward and pressing pause and self-detonating? It's pretty awesome.
Is that what the nude code was? Something like that?
I don't know what it was, but I know you just do like a couple of backflips and just explode. It's great.
Because there was, for a long time, again, the over-sexualization of Lara happened, and kind of people just went, oh, this is, you know, as you say, a relatively well-modeled character at the time, and she was an attractive woman. Of course, the first reaction was apparently, I wonder if we can get her to be naked in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it must have been in Tomb Raider 2 as a reaction to that. They put in a nude code and spread it around.
They leaked it in magazines, yes, as a secret code to make Lara Croft nude, and it just made her explode.
So all those weird just gamers that are, I'm going to make my Lara Croft naked, it's just that she just blew up.
It's like that achievement, isn't it, in Lollipop Chainsaw? If you try and look up a skirt, you get an achievement right away that says it was an accident, I swear, with like 0G, and you can never delete it. So everyone will always know you're a fucking weirdo perv.
And that's the thing. You know what type of gamer somebody is based on how early in the list that achievement got unlocked.
Yep.
Is that if it was the last one and you just had to do it to get the completion, it's like, fair enough, yeah. But when it's like the first thing on the achievement list. Oh,
my favourite one is the one you'd get in Dead or Alive Online, like number 4. If you lost 5 matches in a row, you'd get a 0G achievement saying you suck. And you could never delete it.
Because the moment you earned an achievement in the game, you couldn't delete the achievement history. Yep. Yeah. Oh dear. I think I'd have plenty of those on Pokemon. Of just stop taking Numal into online ranked battles, Lucas. You're gonna lose. It's like, no.
I will never stop. If Numal has 1 million stans, I am one of them. If he has 1 stan, I am that 1 stan. If he has no stans, I am dead.
And then it does say here as well, just to kind of make up for, I guess, misdeeds. Like, oh yeah, Lara is often in a race against time against those who seek the same relic she does for nefarious intentions. Lara has thwarted many groups and individuals who are incredibly well equipped or powerful, including crazed religious cults, mad scientists, and even gods. And then,
the thing is, though, as well, yeah, you can't misuse a saber-toothed tiger if it's dead.
No, you can't. But Karl, here's the rub. It's just Lara will often lock up some of the more powerful relics in her manor in order to keep them out of anyone's hands but her own if the situation requires it. She may even destroy the artifact if need be.
They need to have like a Lara Croft game where she's like, oh shit, yeah, I've got the Ark of the Covenant now. That's it, bring her in like a mech suit. Like, you know, when she's like needing help, she calls in. Like, do you know, like the Batman thing, like even the odds? And you know like, what? The Lara mobile comes in.
The even the odds should just be the butler coming in
a mech suit.
But still with the little tray.
Yeah, do you know when he wears like when you get the guns and he wears the body armor and you can't kill him?
No.
Do you not know that?
I don't remember
Lara Croft games, when you pick up the pistols, your butler suddenly starts wearing armor because they knew the first thing you do is try and shoot him. But he's unkillable. So what they should have is just him come in like that with a tray, but instead of a tray, it's a knife, and he's like a Tombury.
Oh God, no, just a Tombury, a little Tombury butler. That's what they should do just in this remake. Is just if you lock him in the freezer, the next time you load back into the mansion, he's just got the Tombury knife, and he's just.
There's got to be an achievement for that.
Oh, 100%.
It's the first thing everyone's gonna do.
Mm-hmm. And we will go here to the reception and cultural impact of Lara Croft. Lara Croft has been massively popular since her debut in 1996. She is seen by many to be the #1 heroine in gaming history, surpassing the likes of Samus Aran from the Metroid series.
Nah, Samus. I think I prefer Samus as a character, but I will agree that Lara Croft is probably more iconic. More people would recognize Lara. Because if people saw Lara Croft, they say, "Oh, it's Lara Croft." They saw Samus, they say, "Is that Metroid character?"
I mean, that's one of the jokes, isn't it? Like, oh, is that Zelda pointing at Link? And is that Metroid pointing at Samus?
But people know Lara Croft.
Yes, people really know Lara Croft. And I just want, can we get like the Metroid movie where just Samus, instead of being like Angelina Jolie doing backflips, it's just someone in an iron armor never speaking, just not saying a word.
Like, if we ever get that like Metroid movie that's coming out, if Samus is not just shoulder checking through 14 brick walls, what is even the point? Like, obviously they're gonna have to have, if they make a Metroid movie, she's gonna get like the speed booster, and it's gonna be the sickest thing. She just glows with rainbow sex energy and just flies through Ridley's head.
God,
but that's not gonna happen.
It's not
like the Master Chief show where it's like it's gonna be a drama about a character who never talks.
Yeah, well, I mean, John does talk quite a lot, but
he's really wry. I've always liked like his wry sense of humor. which
Mhm.
like from the clips and stuff I've seen of the show, not really that present. Well, Lara Croft does have a good sense of humor, which is again missing in like the reboot, where she's not as funny because she's kind of like sarcastic because she's the narrator of the first game, right? Because she walks you through the mission.
Right. Okay.
She
Yeah.
tells you like, "This is my house. Let's go for a look around." She takes you on a tour of her mansion.
And yeah, it's like some of the things just mentioned here. I cannot imagine the reboot Lara Croft happening to. Just Lara's popularity led her to being adapted to other forms of media, as well as being used in advertising for products such as Lucozade, a brand of energy drink,
Yes.
Seat cars, the Visa card, and even a line of chocolate bars.
I remember the Lucozade ones because the advert was her being chased by dogs, and she jumps and like hangs on with her one arm, and then gets the Lucozade with the other one, and all the dogs just fly off the edge. And it's great.
And Lara Croft quite quickly became that kind of cool design character with like the leather jacket and the sunglasses and the motorbike as well.
I liked the little orange sunglasses that she'd wear. They were really stylish.
So yeah,
And
I
I
can
think,
definitely
they
see
should have
that
done that.
fitting with like her getting like the sunglasses, putting them on and drinking the Lucozade. Like I can see that happening, but I can't imagine just gap year Lara just being, oh no, I need to get my bottle of Lucozade.
Do you know what like Lara Croft should have become? She should have been like the female equivalent of Duke Nukem. Of, like,
No.
That's what I mean, but because Duke Nukem was kind of lame, because they leaned too hard into it. But do you know what I mean in the sense of a character who never evolved. They should have kept her exactly as she was in the 90s and never changed it.
Like,
and then the further we got removed from that look and that style, the funnier it would have been.
If you kept her what it was in around like the early 2000s design.
Yes,
where
I didn't mean
is.
like act like Duke Nukem. I meant just they never changed Duke Nukem's characterization.
I was like, do not make her Duke Nukem. Don't do this.
I thought with the sunglasses, like, Doom Guy. Doom Guy's characterization just never changed. They should have kept Lara Croft as like she'd just be like just slamming Lucozades and shooting T-Rexes.
Yeah, because I can't imagine like any of the new Laras having the attitude to pulling out a Lucozade or being on a bag of Doritos.
I love that she advertised because Lucozade was so shit.
It is.
I think it's just because it was a British studio and they drank Lucozade when they were hungover, so they got sponsored by.
They just probably wanted to get free Lucozade for the office.
I think Lucozade is if Americans like what the fuck's Lucozade? It's like it's called it because it's like it was originally glucose aid, so think of it as like it's like a recovery drink. It's like one of those early energy drinks, and it has like sugar in it to help you recover. And I admittedly sugar-free Lucozade, sugar-free lemon Lucozade will cure any hangover.
And I can't really enjoy Lucozade because obviously you can imagine the amount of times people have made the joke of like, your Lucozade, and I'm like, yeah. So I just have a hatred of that brand in general because of that.
I still wish that they advertised it with that because it was just so. The thing is, I remember one of the games she had it in her inventory.
Is it like the Mountain Dew in Death Stranding?
Oh man,
just that got removed and is now just a generic brand.
They should never allow to be removed. That
no, they shouldn't.
Like never forget it is Metal Gear. We mentioned Metal Gear earlier. It's Metal Gear canon that Snake invented Doritos. Because like in Metal Gear Peace Walker, they had like a Doritos crossover, and they say that like Big Boss invented Doritos.
Yeah, it says that Lara Croft, became a sex symbol, but did get backlash from feminist groups who took issue with her sex appeal being used for marketing purposes. As well as parental groups who objected to sexual content in video games, which I'd argue none of it was sexual in the video games as far as I remember, but I might
people's response to it. And that's why I think if they leaned into it and made it because if you look at Lara's design, it's almost like the pin-up you'd see on a plane. Like you can imagine that pose kind of the one you got on your wall behind you, like the katana ones, like the DC bombshells that you have.
Yes, yeah.
They could make it similar, akin to that.
I mean, they could. It would be cool if they did that, but yeah, I guess maybe parents just heard like the nude code is in the game and shit like that, and it's like,
and they saw the character on the cover of Playboy and stuff.
Yeah, but as you mentioned and alluded to earlier, just in 2009, a ring road in Derby was named Lara Croft Way after the local council opened a vote up to the public to decide the road's name.
Well, I'm glad it was that and not like Hitler did nothing wrong Avenue or
Yeah.
something.
Lara Croft Way won the public vote with a landslide 89% of overall votes, numbering over 27,000.
Yeah.
And I love it when it's just those really kind of just nice ones where it's like, oh, it's Lara Croft Way, she's an iconic character, or the Boaty McBoat face that was the new like royal ship being brought in.
That was so good. Oh, it's the gritter ones that are the best. It's like itty nitty bitty gritty machine or whatever the fuck they called it, or like Gary Gritter and stuff like that.
Oh god. Oh, but we'll just end here with some little bits of trivia.
Tell me some trivia about Lara Croft. Is the first one that she was called Laura Cruz?
Well, the first one is Lara's name is often mispronounced as Laura by Americans.
Yep.
Just calling them the fuck out.
They don't recognize Lara as a name. I say it's Karl or Kyle.
Yeah, and Lara's passport in the original timeline displays her middle name as Amelia. This is the only time where her middle name is known. From the Legend timeline onward, this was her mother's given name in the games rather than just Lady Croft.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it sums it up here of just how much more serious the game got. Of a primary weapon in the original Legend series are 2 handguns, but in the Survivor series, it's a bow and arrow.
And I do like in the new reboot timeline where the end of one of the games is her going up to a box as the 2 pistols in it and saying, "Huh, forgot about these." And then there was an interview with the directors of the next game, like, "So is Lara going to use her dual pistols in this one?" No, that's stupid. Why would he do that? Because she referenced it in the previous game. Do you not remember that? Oh shit! They forgot they put the reference in, and they would say, "No, that's stupid. Why would she use 2 pistols? That's such a '90s thing." Our game's like realistic. It's like, but you put the 2 pistols in the previous game.
Like, oh shit! Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then I think they did put like a costume in. So like but the reboot Lara wearing that costume looks really bad.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to look that one up in time. But
I think the best one's just one where she's wearing like I swear there's one where she's got like skull makeup on and she just punish her Lara. Her true form.
I wish it was more lean into the attitude era, not the the WWE one, the Lara Croft one.
Can you imagine if she wore like Kane's mask?
It's sad though that when you say Kane's mask, how many people are going to be like, "But Kane's never worn a mask." It's been that long since Kane even had a mask.
The thing is that I'm all in on Blue Kane now. Do you know about Blue Kane?
Is this just like the Twitter mockery one where it's just
there's a guy who's like
amateur wrestler who's like, I'm Ice Kane or something?
Yeah, but there's also Green Kane with wind powers. They're trying to create like just the avatars of Kanedom. So you have like Blue Kane, Red Kane, Green Kane, and Brown Kane. You'll have like Earth powers.
Brown Kane doesn't sound like the right thing though.
But you don't want to say Black Kane.
I mean, no, but you don't
have shadow powers, I suppose.
You don't want to be walking around going, "I'm Brown Kane." It doesn't sound right.
Blue Kane's just so good.
It just sounds like you've got powers of shit.
And all he does is just troll real Kane on Twitter. It's great.
But anyway, one last bit of trivia about Lara Croft. Technically, after inheriting her father's earldom... Google, stop it. I thought I saw my phone light up. Technically, after inheriting her father's earldom, she became a hereditary peer in her own right. For this reason, as the Countess of Abingdon, Lara ought to be known as Lady Abingdon, and as Lara Croft is a courtesy title, and is how she would have been addressed before her father's death. Her father and mother would have been Lord Abingdon and Lady Abingdon, respectively. So technically, she's not Lara Croft anymore. She's not Lady Croft.
No, but I would like to see though, just some piece of Tomb Raider media where they just like the racers at Cheltenham, and it's like, oh, and here we have like the lords and ladies wearing their big hats, and she just rocks up wearing like a leather jacket with 2 guns, like just riding on an AT. Like, the horse racers.
Yeah, she just jumps on. She does like the Tony Stark in Iron Man 2 of pushes the jockey off the horse and just, I'm riding this one.
But it's like a unicorn that she found in the Amazon. She's like, look what I found. It's mine.
How less hype though would it be if it was just, Lady Abington Tomb Raider? It's like, oh no.
I bet there's a thing somewhere like she's rescinded that
She's like Prince Harry. She just disowns herself from that world.
She don't want to have it now.
It just makes her such a less cool of a character. Of like, I'm just a rich British asshole who goes around stealing treasures from the world.
Although I would love to see working class Lara Croft of the training mission of just parkouring around a council estate.
Just Lady Abingdon goes to sign on for job seekers. Just
You have the mission at the start where it's okay. You need to go around my big house and learn all your things, like just that, but it's just in a council estate to training. And now you've got a mantle underneath the the security fence at Lidl.
You've got one bar to swing on, and it's the broken swing in the council park.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So now we're gonna learn about combat. Here come the pillheads.
They're out to steal your watch.
Coming out of Spa on a 4 o'clock on a Saturday. What do you do?
Give us fucking council estate Lady Abingdon.
Oh, Council House Lara Croft would be so strong. She'd be unstoppable.
Lara Croft, House Raider.
She's just
She's just a thief.
That'd be so good. Lara Croft, just House Raider. And it's just her just nicking. Oh man, she brocking. She stole all my Michael Jackson CDs. It's like, no.
She just kept doing backflips with my vinyls.
And she just walks in and steals people's PlayStations.
No, she just kicks their Xboxes out the window.
She's on Xbox now, though. She's all right.
Well, she was for one game, and then no one bought it until it came to PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh man, as well. Instead of the ponytail, she had the high ponytail and a shell suit. She wear tracksuit bottoms that have juicy writ on the back.
But they've been specifically cut to be the booty shorts still.
Yeah.
Oh,
instead of dual pistols, it'd be a pram with 2 babies in it. Council House Lara Croft, let's go. This is it. This is the pitch. I know what short I'm making out of this podcast. Council House Lara Croft, let's go.
I'm calling up fucking whoever owns it. I think it might be Embracer now. Oh god.
Lucas, you know as well what the title of this one is. Council House
Lara Croft, House Raider.
Just imagine. She'd be so good at it as well.
She would be. She'd be unstoppable. These council house chavs didn't know what was coming.
So do they say it's all that knife crime in London?
Yeah.
How bad would it be? So their knives, they all had that pickaxe thing she's got in the first game. They'll start running around ice axes and shit.
Oh. Just people bowing each other down in London.
Oh man, that's what I want. This is it.
Oh, but yeah.
Instead of legendary animals, it's an XL bully. They're banned in UK now, aren't they? This would be really rare.
Bringing in the ban, yeah.
It's just her going to council estates and she gets attacked by, oh my god, what's that? Oh, it's an XL bully, Lara. We've got to get it.
Oh, now thought to be extinct. It's okay, got it. I'm going to shoot this in the face with 2 pistols.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Right, well, thank you all for joining. That was a lovely note to end on. Lovely way to end our first,
Council House Lara Croft.
A proper nice first live Wiki Weekends, but going to try and make this the plan going forward is just to live stream the video version on YouTube, on our channel, and then go and I'll, take the audio files and edit them to go on podcast services in a minute. So it will mean, you get the podcast version a little bit later.
Yes.
But it does mean that we all get to just have a nice together and chat.
Yes, so tune in same time next week if you're watching live. You're listening after the fact. Wednesday, 6 p.m. British time.
And I don't know what that is in America time, so you'll have to figure it out.
You figure it out. You got a phone.
You just Google it.
To you about the people at home. You got a phone.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. It's been a lovely time, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of Valentine's Day / Lara Croft's Council House birthday. Just go to that Lara Croft birthday bash.
Yes, and if you are watching live on YouTube, I'm posting the Discord link right there, so you can go continue the conversation there on the podcast and stuff. And there's also a Q&A section and stuff if you want to ask me and Lucas any questions that we've not been able to answer during the course of the podcast itself.
Apart from, have we seen the fantastic forecasting happened? Yes. We hadn't, but we certainly know about it now.
Yeah, it's what I mentioned earlier during the break. It's kind of frustrating as a content creator because you don't get really much chance to get surprised by anything, because unless you see it as it happens, people will just put it into your peripheral.
Literally an hour later, yeah.
Yeah. So there's no like news or anything that we enjoy that we can really experience organically unless we actively seek it out or are just very lucky.
Yeah, for sure. And if you would like to vote officially for which wiki won this week, you can go join that Discord right now, and I will be just making sure that when the podcast version is live and stuff like that, I'll get that poll out, doing all that straight after.
Council Outlaw is winning this one.
I mean, I would hope so. That was
also, I'm going to vote for that one.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has